In this lesson, we're going to be talking about image formats. By image format, what I'm talking about specifically is the way data from a hard drive or a hard drive partition is stored in a way that can be analyzed later on. Now, there are several ways to acquire a disk image. There are a couple of different ways of storing that disk image once you've acquired the data, or in the process of acquiring the data. There are different ways that you can store that data so that it can be used without actually having to use the hard drive. So one of the really important ways of storing that is this advanced forensics format. Now, the advanced forensics format not only stores the data from the hard drive, but also stores some forensic metadata along with it. This advanced forensics format is supported by most of the primary forensics tools that you'll run across, like SleuthKit and FTK. They support the AFF image format. One of the big forensic software toolkits is called EnCase, and EnCase has its own image format. Another image format that I want to show you is the raw image. Now, a raw image is just a bit-for-bit copy of either a drive or a particular partition, and it's stored bit for bit exactly the way it was on that physical media, but it's stored in a file. So, for example, I've got this raw image file here, and it's actually an entire hard drive for an XP system. So you can see it's a little over 5 gigabytes there. Now, if I take a look at what this actually is using the Linux tool file is going to tell me that it's an x86 boot sector, and it's a Microsoft Windows XP master boot record. So according to file, this file here, xp.raw, is actually a hard drive. Now, just to make it even more clear, let's take a tool like fdisk. This is a file, remember. You can actually run it against this file, and fdisk opens that file up. And I can print the partition table, and you can see that there are actually 2 partitions there. And it shows the start and the end and the blocks. And so there are 2 partitions for this particular file. So clearly what we've got here is an entire drive rather than a single partition. And actually, the file command that we looked at a little bit earlier, just up above, bears that out because it says it's got a Microsoft Windows XP master boot record, and that there is actually a boot sector there. So again, we've got this raw image format that's, again, a bit-for-bit copy of whatever it is you are storing, and that can include the boot sector, the master boot record. Of course, that would include the partition table. You get all of the data on the partitions, and that's all stored in just a raw format, exactly the way it is on the drive. There's no alteration of it. There's no extraneous information. It's just the raw image format. And this raw image format is supported by the various forensic tools like EnCase and FTK and ProDiscover, as well as SleuthKit, and most other forensics tools that you may run across are going to support this raw image because it's just a very basic way of storing data from hard drives and partitions.